Welcome to American Legion Memorial in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, where the last two League One final runner-ups meet in a battle on the bubble. With a crucial 3 points on offer that could move a team to the playoff line, it's all to play for in the Queen City. Tonight's match presented by Novant Health. Here's a look at the most recent results as we look over at the Jägermeister Cup, a 1-0 win for Charlotte against Richmond, of course. Who else? Obregon Jr. He scored right on the stroke of halftime to give them a 1-0 lead, but the Richmond Kickers actually dominated in this game in shots, 15-4, expected goals, possession. They really had a lot to say, but in the end, it was just not enough. Their opposition today, the Red Wolves of Chattanooga, also had a 1-0 game, but it went against them. An incredible goal from Juan Galindrez, who knows a lot about this Chattanooga team, also scoring just before halftime. Of course, Madison, one of the best teams in the league, they dominated statistically in this one as well. So a tough 1-0 loss against one of the best teams, Chattanooga, looking to bounce back after this cup loss. Here are players to watch. We've already talked about him. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., brought to you by Great Clips. This guy's been firing on all cylinders. 4 goals in 3 League One appearances consecutively. 3 game-winning goals, 2 braces. He had the game-winning goal we just showed you. Of course, he has just been racking them up so early on in his career. And what's incredible is they've been in 4 penalty shootouts this season so far, and he hasn't scored in any of them. Watch for him to lead the line tonight. Siobhan Marsh for the Red Wolves, also brought to you by Great Clips. Of course, they are missing Ropapa Mensah, and so someone has to step up, lace up their scoring boots, and fill in that big hole, and he has been doing that. He got the game-winning goal against Greenville last time out. He has started the last 4. He's really grown into that role. I mean, he had a great season last year. 12 goals, 8th in the league. What can he do against the Independents tonight? Well, folks, it's all to play for. This could mean a lot to pick up some points, move yourself to that playoff line or above that playoff line. A massive win could be on the line for either of these teams. Tonight's match brought to you by Novant Health. We'll bring it to you when we return from Charlotte.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high-quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Are you ready? Ready for more games you love? Ready for more players, new rivals? Ready for more fans, new friends, and endless celebrations? This is Carolina's new women's pro soccer team, the Carolina Ascent, featuring the world's most exciting players connected to the global game, uniting the Carolinas. We are the Carolina Ascent, built for the Carolinas.
Just moments away from kickoff here in the Queen City between the Charlotte Independents and the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Tonight's match presented by Novant Health. Here's a look at tonight's starting 11s for both teams. First, the home side, brought to you by Capelli Sports. And This is a pretty similar lineup to what we've seen recently. This back line really starting to take shape and form into quite a resilient group defensively. Of course, Pack at the back, who's been incredible, in Jai doing a great job in midfield, and then the main man leading up top. We're going to look and see this balance. They've been a little bit struggling towards the end of games. Can they find that balance, striking between attack and defense? That's the starting lineup for Charlotte. Here's a look at the 11 for the Red Wolves, brought to you by Capelli Sport. The biggest name on this team sheet that you're going to see for the first time in a while is Coutinho. He's making his first appearance since the end of April, has been out with a injury, just a small one. He got some minutes against Madison, but this is his first start in quite a while, so we're going to see just how up to speed he is. And then, of course, we're talking about the missing Ropapa-Mensah. Marsh isn't the only one up there. Malongo's also going to be helping. Ruiz down the wings. How much can he provide? He hasn't gotten on the score sheet yet. Coach really says he thinks there's more to see from him. Those are your starting 11s for both sides. As we pitch it out to live action, just about ready to begin. It is a pristine evening here, right on the border of the Carolinas, in one of the best cities in the South, one of the best soccer cities in America. The Charlotte Independents made this just their backstop, the place they could always come and get results. Last season, 10 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses in 2023. They were picking up over 2 points a game on average with a plus 16 goal differential. I mean, this was a place that people did not want to come and play. They made it so difficult. This year, they haven't started off quite as well, so the door is open for this Red Wolves team, and that's exactly the sort of sense that you get from speaking with Coach Scott McKenzie in the lead up to this one. He thinks there are some gaps that they can find, exploit, and then possibly find a result in. They're both desperate to find one, as they have been going quite a while without real consistency, both in form and in the length of time they've gone between playing games. This is a very different and unbalanced schedule between these two teams. How it affects tonight's game is going to be so interesting to dissect. Just about ready to start. I am Zach Burley. Delighted you've joined us here for this League One match, the lone one on a Friday night between the Euros, the start of Copa America. I'm so glad you decided to watch one of the best leagues in the world, USL League One. All we await is Jair Campos' whistle to get us underway in the Queen City. It will be the Red Wolves to start us off. The visitors all in white, the home side in blue with the gold trim. There is the referee's whistle, and we are underway. Lukic will get things started early, running in towards goal. Pack, and we're going to have a goal right at the start. A screamer at the back. A howler from Johnson, and Malongo pounces. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You just knew it was going to happen, and there was nothing they could do to stop it. Malongo continuing his run. Great work from him. That replay brought to you by AccuVision LASIK. He just followed it up, offered that pressure. In less than 30 seconds in, the Red Wolves lead. Incredible stuff. It's so tough there because you could see stuck in two minds. Johnson and Pack running at each other, with Malongo bearing down on goal. Asked to do a lot so early. In that split-second decision, a deadly one. Tonight's presenting sponsor is Novant Health. They are proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents. With same and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. And Jai is fouled. And boy, does that change the outlook of this game. Malongo in the first minute. Foul given. This is one of those ones where Charlotte really wanted to, control this game, be in command of the proceedings, being at home. And he just gifted the away side a goal. And it's one of the worst things you can do because on the road, it's already hard to get results. But just starting, basically, 30 seconds in, you basically start a goal up. Means that it totally changes the game plan for both teams. A lot on the line for both sides. Charlotte could move up as high as 4th, at least to end the night. Would put them 5 points above the playoff line if they could get a win. For Chattanooga, just as important, it can move them up to 7th and be just 1 point off of Charlotte, who would be in that 6th spot above the playoff line. No foul given. Malongo. We talked about how dominant that Charlotte has been here at home, but it's been a little bit of a different story this season. They're hoping to get their first win at American Legion Memorial since April 16th. They're looking for their first win in a little over a month, 2 months rather. Chattanooga are looking for their first win here ever. Surprisingly enough, this is the 9th time the two teams have met. They have not been able to pick up a win. For those of you who might have just been a little lackadaisical turning on tonight's game, you're saying, man, I got here in the first minute. What did I miss? Malongo, that's what you missed. An errant back pass. It was one of those ones, as soon as you saw the ball played, your heart just kind of sank. Your heart goes out to the defender in those moments, because that's all it was. I mean, a great run by Malongo to follow it up, but truly goes to the defender, and your heart goes out in those moments. Less than 30 seconds in. These two teams meeting for the very first time this season in any competition. Charlotte have played everyone but Chattanooga in Lexington. And Chattanooga have played everyone but Charlotte in Spokane. Today has obviously not gone to plan, and when we were drawing up our keys to the game, brought to you by Black Tie Transportation, I mean, one of the big things I thought early was just controlling the pace for Charlotte as they try and get in behind here quickly. Belmar looking for support, laces one through. That was the big thing, is to control the pace of the game early, and that's exactly what they did not do. For Chattanooga, a very different story. Of course, they could not have hoped to have gotten a result that early. Finding a goal like that, just getting onto the ball and pushing for the goal. So as you can see, those are two conflicting goals. They can't get both of those things done for each team. Chattanooga coming up the better early. Green. Head referee having to intervene here to make the decision. It will be Charlotte's ball. Anton Sorensen spent the last 3 seasons with the Union 2. MLS Next Pro. Made just shy of 60 appearances. Man born in Port-au-Prince in Haiti. Actually was called up to the first team for the Union back in 2021. It's one of those like emergency call-ups. A couple of players had to go out with COVID-19, and so he actually was a part of the 18 for the Eastern Conference Final against NYCFC. He's put in a great shift since joining. Lukic calling for the hand, and they will get it. These are two teams who have had their difficulties with injury. Both sides affected in one way or another. Chattanooga much more so than Charlotte. Green. Belmar. Cut out. Leo Fala. Both of these sides come in wanting more from their recent results. Just one win in the last 5 games for both of these teams. That's a real switch of things for Charlotte. They had 3 wins and just 1 loss in their first 6 games of the season, whether that be in the League Cup or in USL League One. So after a bright and early beginning, things have kind of trailed off. Both teams' coaches kind of echoing the same message. It's been a lot about not being able to close out games for both teams. Coach Scott McKenzie saying there just has not been consistency in their lineup. Both do feel like they are getting somewhere. Charlotte, of course, getting the win against Richmond last time out. Malongo laying it off. Malongo on the 1-2, and it's an early brace. Malongo inside 10 minutes. The number 10 has 2. A brilliant 1-2 here. Lukic just laying it right back off, going near side, and it's credit to Malongo again. He's the one who picked Spielman's pocket, just pressuring him, going backwards. Replay brought to you by AccuVision LASIK, and a few extra flips for Malongo as they are barrel rolling their way forward. 10 minutes in and already 2-0. Defensively, they haven't been as good as they would like. Charlotte this season, only 4 clean sheets. 2 in the league, 1 in the cup, and 1 in the US Open Cup. What's really incredible, actually, is the fact that they are conceding these goals early. Defensively, you know, they've given up a lot of goals in the second half, but first half is really where they've made their marker. They've only allowed 1 goal coming into this one in the first half, the fewest of any team in the league. Already 10 minutes in, they've given up 2, but they are coming the other direction. Pulled back, driven in, taken off the head of Njai. Johnson over the top. Obregon Jr. just couldn't get the initial bring down right. Fala pulls the emergency switch. Pilato. The Independents growing into this one. Johnson. On the ground for Belmar. Flips it out for Marsh. You can tell something has changed since that second goal has gone in. A real urgency. Hugh Roberts was his back pass, not Johnson's, who evaded Austin Pack. Injuries have not been great for either of these teams. Charlotte are coming back as Obregon Jr. tries to lay one in on his right. Curls one near post, stings the outside of the net. So close. They've been targeting him, trying to get him more on the ball, and he just about gets this right. Whether or not Bush would have had that covered, it would have been close. You can see just how much it means to Obregon Jr. 8 league goals, 10 in total, all competitions, 3 game winners, 2 braces. I mean, he's just done it all. And this in his first season with the team, he's kind of bounced around a little bit from club to club. It's one of the things that Coach Jeffries talked about when we spoke with him earlier in the week. And, you know, it makes it difficult to really find form when you're bouncing around like that. He had a couple of really big standout seasons, most notably back in 2021 with Hartford. 10 goals, 2 assists, and 27 appearances as they try and go over the top. Obregon Jr., tight angle, parried by Bush. Well, it seemed like everyone was waiting for the offside flag to come up there. Here's a look. He just had time and space, no support. Took it himself. Relatively routine for Bush. Jair Campos just has a word with Declan Waters. We're talking about those injuries. 2 very different outlooks here as the yellow card is going to come out. Luis Alvarez here just pulling back the man. One of those professional fouls trying to slow things down. You can see here the pass by Njai did him no favors. And he just sticks the foot out. Difficult one in that moment because it's been breaking where they've had such success, Chattanooga. That's really where they have built their niche. Since Scott McKenzie has come in, they've been really good on the counter. Transition moments proving deadly. You would say these have been self-inflicted. This will be a real bright spot, though, because Coach Scott McKenzie saying this is the first time in a long time, since back in March, that he's been able to field a full 18 without the use of academy contract players. They have just been struggling game to game with so many injuries. Coutinho coming back in. Of course, Mintza's still out. And so being able to get a full 18 and getting a consistent lineup, that's one of the things he parroted throughout our discussions, is that some of the results just come down to the fact that there is just not enough consistency in the starting 11 to really build that rhythm and routine. Lukic chases down Spielman. Here's Roberts. Spielman. It was his back pass to Pack that was picked up by Malongo. Belmar, offside flag comes up on the far side. Talk about the load of games between. Very interesting with this new format with the League Cup factoring in. Just passed a very dangerous mark for Chattanooga. Charlotte just not had a very good start of things. At the beginning of games, they really wanted to continue that, Chattanooga, and keep Charlotte off the score sheet. They have no goals scored, the Independents, in the first 15 minutes of games in League One this season. They just do not start well offensively. And so getting past that 15-minute mark is crucial without conceding, which is exactly what they've done. Here's Clay Dimmick. Blocked out behind for the evening's first corner kick. Alvarez will set this down. The corner kick brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Taken short and quickly. Whipped in. Johnson drives a ball in. It's a beautiful one, but whiffing on it on the edge of the 6. Anton Sorensen. Brilliant opportunity off a sublime ball. Sorensen could just not steer it home. Flicked along, beautifully done. Played in, one-on-one. Flag does come up belatedly, but Bush makes the save anyways. It's just a moment's hesitation from Obregon Jr. If he would have played that first time, maybe, not guaranteed, maybe Alvarez would have been onside. You can tell a switch has flipped here. Charlotte piling on the pressure. Roberts. Alvarez on his right. In the end, not on target. Here's a look at it, brought to you by AccuVision LASIK. You can see what he's trying here. He just doesn't quite catch it right. Bush can kind of see, whenever you see that sort of positioning, you could tell he was trying to open up his hips. You can kind of always tell where it's going. The referee already cautioning TJ Bush. This will not be an enviable task now for Chattanooga. This is a team that does struggle to keep clean sheets. In fact, the last time they kept a clean sheet in the league was back in June of 2023. It's been over a year. June 7th against Madison. Spielman this time gets it away for Sorensen. They were able to keep a clean sheet earlier this season, Chattanooga, 1-0 against Richmond in the Cup. But they only had one clean sheet all of last season, with the most goals conceded in 65. Ruiz. Those are numbers that will be flashing in the heads of the Charlotte Independents coaching staff. Sorensen. Belmar trying to steer it away. Turned over to Ruiz on his right. And Spielman can boot it long. Pepsi Cola is the official soft drink of the Charlotte Independents. Enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi while watching the Jacks. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas. Spielman, long ball out of the back. Trying to track it down, Green. Bush just does manage to keep it in play. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance provider of the Charlotte Independents. Blue Cross NC makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross North Carolina. Better care starts here. Just about to the halfway point of half number one. Malongo with a brace inside 10 minutes. Clay Dimmick. The Independents growing in confidence. Shrugged off. Malongo. Here comes Sorensen. Now Belmar. Alvarez. Tried to return it. Alvarez. And they will call for the handball. The Mecklenburg reserves do not appreciate that one, as it just popped up and hit Alvarez. The Charlotte Independents is proud to share their home field with the Carolina Ascent FC, the new Division I women's professional soccer team, starting this August. For more information on this exciting new Super League and this team, visit carolinaascent.com. They've done such a good job putting not only the Super League, but specifically the Carolina Ascent together, just how the team has presented itself, trying to grow the women's game in the western part of the state. A lot of credit to Brooke Brown, who's just done such a great job there. The whole staff with the Ascent, and we're all so much looking forward to adding another fold into the American soccer community. Sorensen did all the hard work to keep it in play, and just right at the end couldn't get that final touch. Chattanooga here, 25 minutes in with a 2-goal lead. Malongo with 2. This is not the first time he has scored 2 goals this season. He got 2 goals and an assist against Lexington. You must be thinking, well, 3 goals for Chattanooga. They must have won that game. They did not. They lost 4-3 to Lexington in a game they led all the way into the 91st minute. They gave up 2 stoppage time goals and lost the game 4-3. So this game is by far and away not over. Chattanooga knows that, and you better believe Charlotte knows that. Alvarez. Cut out by Waters. Pings it out to Dimmick. Johnson. Alvarez. Patient build up here. Whipped in. Dimmick fires one across, but the offside flag will arise. Great Clips has over 4,400 salons throughout the United States and Canada, making it the world's largest salon brand. Great Clips salons provide value-priced, high-quality hair care for men, women, and children. Great Clips is the official hair salon of the Charlotte Independents. To check in online and find a salon near you, visit greatclips.com or download the free app. Johnson, space opens up for him. It's a team effort. This is going to be a very long into this first half, and it's going to feel like it is dragging if you're watching from Southeast Tennessee. It's one of the things that Coach McKenzie talked about, is just wanting to hold on to the ball a little bit more. I mean, this is a team that does very well in transition, he said, but when we're playing games and got 60-30 possession, he said it's just 60-40 possession, it's just not enough to see them win games. So they have to have a little bit more of the ball, control it themselves. Doesn't mean that they have to have 60% themselves. He said he wants it to be right about even. And that's what he saw already this season against Madison. He said that was really one of the first games in a while where there was kind of 50-50. Even though they didn't get the result in that game, he was pleased with that aspect of their performance. So they just can't get dominated. And tonight's going to be tough, of course, having 2 goals so early. The impetus falls to the home team. Alvarez, oohs and ahs from the stands. Scooped in. Obregon Jr. firing over. Down to his knees after that one. His second opportunity coming oh so close. Great ball over the top. Just striking it on the half volley. Always rising, but still a clean effort. Marsh holding up the ball. Lost to Njai. Alvarez thought about the shot. Edge of the 18, took a deflection. Took most of the sting off of it. That will send the teams out for a hydration break. It is a scorcher, humidity high as it always is here in Charlotte. The Charlotte Independent storefront is live. Stock up on the next match for scarves, hats, shirts, and more. To shop the new online storefront, visit charlotteindependence.com.myshopify.com. About a half hour to go here. 2-0 in favor of the Red Wolves. 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes. All the soccer action you want and all the flexibility you need with Charlotte Independence Flex Plans. The 2024 Flex Plan includes 10 ticket vouchers to use however you want throughout the season. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. Well, what's really interesting about the way the game sits right now is when these two teams meet, the home team does not lose. Usually they win, but they have never lost. 8 games coming into this one, and never has the home team lost. That could very well change tonight given the way that things have gone. What's so interesting is that these two teams have been playing one another for 2 seasons. 2022, all 3 games were won by Chattanooga. Chattanooga then went on to the League One final. The very next year, Charlotte, 3 games, were unbeaten in all 3. They then went on to the USL League One final. Does that mean if a team sweeps the other one in this series, they're guaranteed to go to the final? I won't say that, but the details certainly do point in that direction. Last season, it was all the Independents. 3 games unbeaten. They outscored the Red Wolves 8-2. In fact, this has not been a friendly fixture for the Red Wolves. The last time they won was October 1st of 2022. That was a 3-1 victory at home. It started off so well for them as well. They won 2 of the first 3 back in 2022. Had an incredible 7-1 victory, the very first time these two teams ever met. That's a club record for the Red Wolves in goals scored in a single game. And from there, it pretty much did not get better for the Red Wolves. They've scored 17 goals coming into this one. Sorry, 14 goals coming into this one in the 8 previous games. That means half of all the goals they've scored against Charlotte have been in that first match. But of course, the story today, very different. Malongo imprinting his name on this fixture. He's not been one of those marquee guys. Juan Galindrez with 4 goals is tied for the highest score in this fixture with Tresor Mbuyu, who is on the bench at the moment for Charlotte. He has 4 goals for Charlotte against Chattanooga in 4 different games. He has scored 5 times against Chattanooga in 8 games with 2 different clubs. So him coming on in the second half might just be that little bit of extra luck and experience they need. Obregon Jr. has come close on a couple of occasions so far. Set pieces have not factored into this one. Alvarez stands over it alongside Sorensen. 21 years of age for both of these players. Can one of the young bucks provide that all-important ball and finally break the Red Wolves' resistance? Alvarez leaves it. Left foot of Sorensen. Spielman loops it in. Njai. Spielman again. Great cross. Obregon Jr. just can't get there. But the intervention at the last sends it out for a Chick-fil-A corner kick. They are beginning just to begin to brew here, Charlotte. Beginning to percolate. It'll be Sorensen to take this Chick-fil-A corner kick. We saw what he could do with his left boot just a moment ago. It'll be a left-footed in swinger. They have been building to a crescendo. The final note has not been there so far. Can Sorensen and the set piece provide it? Belmar straight down. And the referee will call Belmar over the back. Carlton Belmar, a guy who has gone a little bit under the radar here, still providing a lot. USL on ESPN2 kicks off the summer with a League One showdown as Forward Madison FC takes on South Georgia Tormenta FC on Saturday, June 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern. Join us on ESPN2 tomorrow. Obregon Jr. Dimmick making the run. Picks him out. Back for Obregon Jr., but doesn't time it right. Malongo connects with Marsh. Just behind Belmar. Alvarez picks it up on his right. Cannons off the back of Waters. Alvarez again. Shuffles onto his right, but just doesn't get the bend on it. Not the first time tonight we've seen Alvarez on his right, trying to curl one in. And now it will be a yellow card for TJ Bush. 38th minute, receiving a yellow card for time wasting. They got the second most yellow cards in the league, Chattanooga, now 26 in League One. Handball against Malongo. Confirmation, TJ Bush. Brought to you by 11 Lakes. Sorensen. Roberts. Alvarez forced backwards. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Lost by Alvarez. Referee plays advantage. Marsh continuing. Charlotte do well enough to recover. First time we're really seeing Chattanooga get any meaningful possession in the last probably close to 20 minutes. They have just been forced back deep in their own half by fairly relentless pressure from Charlotte. Possession tilted in favor of the Independents at the moment, just taking over 54% of the ball. Spielman. Pilato. Obregon Jr. Dimmick on the wing. Belmar in the middle. Obregon Jr. stings it right into the palms of TJ Bush. Paddles up. It's the crossover you didn't know you needed. Join the Independents for pickleball night at the American Legion Memorial Stadium on Saturday, June 29th. Tickets are available at charlotteindependents.com. The Independents is powered by eTix. There was a brief moment on that earlier counterattack that they really had to watch out for, Charlotte. It was Alvarez who just brought down, I believe it was Marsh. Remember, he's on a yellow card, so he can't afford to foul in transition like that. That would not do their cause much good. Chattanooga team already with 2. They are not unfamiliar with scoring. They've scored 3 or more goals on 4 separate occasions. Last year, that was a very different story. They failed to score in 11 games last season. But once Scott McKenzie got in, things really changed. They only failed to score once in their final 11 games. They were an offensive juggernaut down the stretch. Did just about everything they could to try and surmount their bad start to the campaign and get into the playoffs, but it was too little too late. Not for want of trying, though. Much better from Chattanooga. Drawing Charlotte in. Soaking up some of that pressure with possession and then trying to go long. Alvarez. Into that final 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Alvarez, big switch. Belmar. Sorensen on the overlap. Pilato. Anton Sorensen. Belmar. Obregon Jr. They collided shoulder to shoulder. Waters, though, wins it in the air. And do not let Obregon Jr.'s diminutive stature fool you on those balls in the air. He is so capable aerially. I mean, you can just see the comparison with Waters on the left there and Obregon Jr. on the right. Man has got hops. Lukic pushing the back by Sorensen. Feeds right into the hands of this Chattanooga team, who are going to be so pleased heading into the halftime break if they can keep a 0 on that side of Charlotte's scoreboard. Just one win in their last 5, Chattanooga. 3-1 win over the Triumph. Lukic. Trying to return it for Marsh. Lukic shields it out for a throw. Serbian Lukic, coming in from Northern Colorado last season, will leave it for Owen Green. So very early in his career with Chattanooga. He was signed back at the middle part of May due to just the mounting injury crisis. Lukic, beautiful ball for Green. Lukic. Marsh. Along the line, stings the crossbar in behind. Beautiful work done by Marsh to just send it along. And that was oh so close. Jamil Roberts. We're now into 5 minutes of stoppage time, brought to you by Novant Health. Njai. Belmar with Sorensen. Watch his left foot. Driven ball, not fully cleared, but ushered sublimely back to Bush. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. 4 minutes to go in a first half, dominated early by the Red Wolves. A goal in the opening minute, and then another one following inside the opening 10. First half is typically win. Charlotte have been strong defensively. They don't score very many in the first half, though, so they will hope to rely upon form and come storming out of the gates in half number 2. Alvarez plucked out of the sky. Still time to use here. Belmar through the legs of Bush. And right at the death in stoppage time, the Independents claw one back. Beautiful ball from Alvarez. Coming in from the right-hand side, Belmar cushions it down, goes 5-hole on Bush, and an all-important goal to buoy them going into halftime. Tragic for the Red Wolves, who were so close to ushering this game into the break with a 2-goal lead. And now this fixture feels oh so different. Coutinho. Belmar's first goal of the season for Charlotte in the league. They're not done. Alvarez. Who did that come off of last? Bush. Make sure to get it away. There'll just be one final twist before the halftime whistle. Obregon Jr. drifting deep to pick up possession. Alvarez out to Dimmick. Settled by Obregon Jr. and cleared by Fala. Obregon Jr. bearing down on goal. Bush by the finest margin. They have come alive here in stoppage time, Charlotte. A hair's breadth away from Obregon Jr. being able to just scoop Bush. And not more than just 3 minutes ago, this game felt comfortable for Chattanooga. And now they are quaking, heading into the locker room. Alvarez. Foul given. Jair Campos. No caution for Malongo. There might just be enough time for one more serious opportunity. We've had the 5 minutes. Be a little bit more because of the goal celebration. Dimmick, Bush, and he might just be able to shepherd us to halftime. Remember, he's already on a yellow card for time wasting. And that will do it for an encapsulating first half. The Red Wolves stunning American Legion Memorial by coming out of the blocks, storming with 2 goals. It looked like they were going to hold on to that lead, courtesy of Malongo. But then things went awry for them right at the end. A resurgent Charlotte Independence, though frustrated early, were able to find that late goal in stoppage time and bring it back to just a 1-goal game. A very different feeling going into halftime here in Charlotte. Can't wait to see how it turns out when we return.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
A beautiful pastel sunset here in the Queen City. An exciting game in the Southeast as the Red Wolves look comfortable going into halftime. The Independents cut it back. Your halftime sponsor, brought to you by Novant Health. Well, Week 10 was encapsulating, as always, a huge slate of games with some huge results. Forward Madison at home, coming up with some really offensive powerhouse performances. We're able to continue that form. Christian Chaney scoring in just the 3rd minute, and it got better and better. Messias in the 9th, so 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes. Does that sound familiar to you? But that was not it in the first half. They got another one, Chaney once again in the 20th to put them up 3-0 at halftime. Surely they are far and away out of reach. But then Balogun from the penalty spot just adds that brief moment of doubt in the minds of the fans at Bree Stevens, but it was all wrapped up by John Murphy Jr., who put it in the bottom corner, made it 4-1, and wheels away in celebration to rip off the shirt. A 4-1 confident victory for the Mingos. The Charlotte Independents themselves coming up with a 1-1 draw. They scored in the first half through Obregon Jr. Who else? A little bit of a fortunate bounce, but he doesn't care how they go in. They took a 1-0 lead into the halftime break and thought they might get away. We were into the final 10 minutes when Tunbridge was able to tuck one into the bottom corner, salvage a point, and pick up an important result on the road for Tormenta. Knoxville against Richmond, 2 teams battling on either side of the playoff line. Another early goal, O'Dwyer this time, to put Richmond up on the road, and then he got better in own goal here. It's ruled as against Sean Lewis, a tough one in the end. And that led them to be up 2-0 at halftime. Second half comes up, penalty is saved, but then it's turned in to make it 2-1. You think maybe Knoxville can bring it back. They come up just short, and Richmond get a big 3 points. Omaha, who's been really good this season, kind of picking up where they left off, had a huge result here. Northern Colorado coming from behind, scoring 2 in the second half to propel them up the table. Coming into this one, they had just 2 points in the league, so they desperately needed to start picking up points. Bruno Rindon here with the game winner, coming from a goal down, also keeping Omaha from picking up 3 points. A massive result at the top of the table. Continuing here with Week 10 highlights as Greenville and Chattanooga. They scored in the opening 15 minutes through that man, Malongo, who's just having the time of his life right now. But the lead did not last long. Anderson down at the other end made it 1-1 before they were able to tag on another through Siobhan Marsh, and they never looked back, Chattanooga. They were up 2-1 and then made it one more. The mistake here is Marsh adds a second, rolling it into the edge of the box from the edge of the 18. A 3-1 victory for the Red Wolves. In wrapping it up, last one is the Red Wolves feature again. They had a very busy schedule recently. They were trounced, there's no other way to say it, against the Red Wolves. They scored early here, just in the 15th minute. They get back on level terms through Waters right here on the set piece, make it 1-1. but then things went poorly. They come back in Omaha, make it 2-1. They make it 3-1. And at that point, it was pretty much always out of touching distance. They were able to claw one back through Siobhan Marsh, the Red Wolves, making it 3-2. As you can see here, just getting on the end of it, perhaps giving themselves some life. But in the end, it would not be enough. 2 more late goals tagged on in stoppage time, the 94th and the 97th, to seal up all the points. Still more to come here as we wrap up League One action on a Friday night.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Pass right in front, it's tapped home. Keziah Sterling. Off the giveaway, Harris. And Lou City leads
3-1. When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Your news and notes from around the league. Join us tomorrow afternoon as Forward Madison and the Tormenta from South Georgia face off in the first ESPN2 match of the season. Dolabella, the player of the month from Omaha, an incredible 4-goal contribution, and Omaha rolling early. It's no surprise they sweep up the awards for Coach of the Month and Player of the Month. They sit top of the league. Here's a look at your scores for the week. Surprise, surprise, it's just our games. You have this to look forward to this weekend. Social Pet brings to you this week's schedule. Of course, the game we talked to you about on ESPN2, but then you've got the Fuego and the Kickers in a battle below the playoff line, and then the Hailstorm looking to continue this momentum they're building and take on a very young Knoxville team who are up in 4th. We'll see just how that one pans out. Here's a look at what we have in store, brought to you by Canopy by Hilton. This is a look at next week's actions, the coming weeks. Greenville Triumph and the Independent, a delectable one there. And then Chattanooga, on the other hand, have to face off against Tormenta, who are above that playoff line. Spokane, the new team this year over on Golasso, will take on the Triumph. And Forward Madison and Union Omaha is your other over there with CBS Sports. Quite a lot to take in there, a lot of great matchups. As you can take a look at our standings, Omaha up top with 16 points. The line you're looking for is below 6. The Independents just above it right now. Chattanooga Red Wolves trying to pick up 3 more points. That would take them to 10, move them to 7th, and possibly give them that jumping board they need to get into a playoff spot. Be a massive thing there, and we'll have more for you when we return here on ESPN+.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive.
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
A beautiful evening in the Queen City as it's 2-1, brought to you by Novant Health. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. What a game it was. Turned really into a game so quickly as Malongo just coming off the shoulder of Hughes, who puts it past his own keeper, and then he turns it in. That final touch to make sure that one does not go down as an own goal. He says, nope, I'm going to tuck this one in. Malongo will pick it up with a little bit of help from Roberts. That made it 1-0, and things just got better and better there for Chattanooga. Malongo picks the pocket of Spielman and then plays this nifty little 1-2 with Lukic, tucks it into that bottom corner, and we're sitting here 10 minutes into the game with Chattanooga sitting on a 2-goal lead, and it looked like they were going to hold it. It really did, but then late on, a little bit of flips here. Just when you thought they might be able to get it to halftime with the 2-goal lead, Alvarez puts in this beaut of a cross, and then Belmar through the legs of Bush. See it 2-1, and what a crucial lifeline this could prove to be for the Independents. Beautifully cushioned down through Bush. Here's your halftime stats brought to you by Social Pets. Possession still slightly in favor of the Independents, but very much a battle for grabs. Corners, very little overall, but Chattanooga basically getting nothing from set pieces. 13-3 on shots, 6-2 on target. The Independents came roaring back in the latter half of that first half. They really did deserve something in the first 45, the way they played, and the numbers do prove that. These halftime stats brought to you by Social Pet. Just about ready for second half kickoff here, Jair Campos. His whistle will be the thing that gets us started here at American Legion Memorial. A beautiful evening, broad brush strokes of orange mixed with beautiful pastels of purple is the backdrop in the Queen City. Royal colors as the Charlotte Independents try to complete their comeback.
The second half is underway. Come on, you Jacks.
Just to remind you how important of a game this is, could really give a nice buffer to Charlotte if they can complete the comeback. That would give them a 5-point buffer zone to the playoff line, taking them all the way up to 4th. For Chattanooga, it's important for them to close down the gap because, of course, Charlotte are sitting in 6th. That would close the gap between them and the Independents down to just 1 point. Zach Burley here with you. Meeting of the last 2 League One final runner-ups. Chattanooga losing to South Georgia Tormenta in 2022, and the Independents losing to NCFC last season. Cushioned down with ease. Backwards by Roberts. Belmar this time. Going for the foul against Fala. Not happy with it either. He scored that late goal. Of course, we saw what he could do at Richmond. 2 goals, 2 assists last season, including an assist in a 2-1 loss the Kickers had. By my count, that is his 50th professional goal. Team club since 2015. Real physical tussle. Foul goes against the Red Wolves. Well, it's such a stark contrast between the first 15 of the first half and the second half. No goals scored in the first 15 minutes of games in the league this season for Charlotte. But at the first 15 minutes of the second half, they have scored 3 goals, a full third of their total. This is their golden hour. Dimmick. Off Roberts, in out for a Chick-fil-A corner. Their 3rd of the evening.
Chick-fil-A corner kick to be taken by Charlotte's number 14, Luis Alvarez.
Alvarez, who set up the first goal. Looking for another beautiful cross. Straight up by Hughes. Sorensen. Alvarez. Walefe, who's come on as a halftime substitute. Here they go on the counter. Lukic now. Over the top for Marsh. Offside flag is down, but a crucial intervention by Pilato. Marsh was clean through on goal. Taken off of Roberts' foot by Njai. Here's Walefe. Gomez. Back to Waters. You can tell just how much more confidence that goal has given this Independence team. Roberts. Big switch to Dimmick. Over the top. Sorensen. Taken away from Belmar, who was waiting expectantly on the penalty spot. Owen Green, the one to turn it behind. Sorensen's left boot has been a real danger on the wings. Looks like Alvarez will take this Chick-fil-A corner kick. Here it comes in, only a punch by Bush. Spielman, short throw, Belmar. Back heel for Dimmick. Malongo, 2-on-3. Precision sliding tackle. Obregon Jr. for Alvarez. He's in behind, Belmar in the middle. Top of the box. Johnson settles, tries to loop one in, but it's well over. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance provider of the Charlotte Independents. Blue Cross North Carolina makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross North Carolina. Better care starts here. Waters. Obregon Jr. Njai. Played in, and that'll be easy for Bush. If you're traveling to Charlotte to see an Independence game, make sure you stay at the Canopy by Hilton. It's located in Charlotte's upscale South Park neighborhood and is around countless dining options. Canopy by Hilton, the official hotel of the Charlotte Independents. We told you 33% of the total goals for Charlotte have been scored in the first 15 minutes of the second half. A full 66% of their goals are scored in the second half, so this is their bread and butter. This is their time where they go out to try and find those goals that can win them games, and that's exactly what they've got to do now. The problem is that it's so flip-flop. They don't score in the first half. They don't allow in the first half. They do score in the second half, but they also allow in the second half. They only allow one goal in the league all season long in the first half, but they've allowed 8 in the second. That's the second most of any team in the league, and 89% of their total, 89% of the goals they've conceded have been in the second 45. So they're going to have to strike that balance and do one and not the other. Here's Owen Green, who was signed late on in the season. He started the last 3, now 4, playing 90 minutes in each one. It's actually quite remarkable that this guy was even on the market as a free agent. Had 2 really stellar seasons. Played at Lexington last year, had 28 starts. The year before was with Tormenta, where he won the League One final, including 12 minutes in the final against Chattanooga. One of the things that Coach McKenzie said is it was lucky for us. And it just shows you how close that you can be to no longer being a professional footballer. All it takes is just something coming up in free agency to miss out. He hadn't played a game in 7 months. Somebody got right up to speed, has proven why he should be at this level and play at the highest level of it. It's been an excellent addition. Novant Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents. With same and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. Alvarez spots a run. Belmar. Roberts away. There's going to be some tired Red Wolves legs going on into the final knockings of this one. Coming off quite a week where they played 3 of the top teams in the league. They had 2 of their games rescheduled, 2 of their home games rescheduled early in the year because they were replacing the surface. And that means it's going to be a tighter scheduling later on in the year. So they played 3 games in a week against the top 3 teams in the league and got some decent results in some of them. Performances certainly so. Now they have to play yet another team above the playoff line. So we'll see just how much those minutes on those legs affects their performance. Sorensen. Singing ball for Obregon Jr. Lethal in front of goal. And with the flip of a switch, the Independents level it at 2. Sorensen, we told you how dangerous his left foot has been, and he makes it look so easy. A cheeky one-time finish. The slightest of touches, the most deft of deflections, and Obregon Jr. nestling it into the upper 90. Up where the owl nests. A beautiful finish by Obregon Jr., who you just knew was going to get on the score sheet tonight. And you would have backed this team to get a goal. It's been the thing with Chattanooga is that lack of defensive acumen has just let them down in some games. Leopoldo Hernandez will come on for Gomez. This is now 2 substitutions. They had Coutinho come off right at halftime for Walefe. He's still not quite full fitness. Coutinho making his way back in, so they wanted to give him the start, give him the 40 minutes. That was kind of something pre-planned. But now Hernandez, 24-year-old Californian coming in from the LA Force in Nisa. Actually started the last 3 games. Marsh. Lukic on his left, always rising. Now, how does the game plan evolve for Scott McKenzie's men? Up 2-0 after 10, it becomes pretty easy what you do there. Don't take any unnecessary risks, but now that it's 2-2, they're going to have to keep it locked down because Charlotte are resurgent. They could easily pick up a 3rd here. But also, Chattanooga are going to feel pretty hard done by if they only go home with a point tonight, considering the way they started this one. Talked about that balance. How many games they're having to play Chattanooga. 2 very different answers when I talked to the coaches about the new balance with the league and the League Cup. It's about the same number of games, just they're splitting it between competitions. It was much more of a concern for Coach Jeffries, who says you get a lot of different consistency in games. Ruiz. The overlap for Roberts to the back stick. Marsh. He'll go again. Lukic loops one in. Final touch goes wanting. Coach Jeffrey saying that balance being struck between the league gives it a little bit different consistency game to game. It puts teams in different spots. And they're still figuring that out for Coach McKenzie. Wasn't really much of an issue for him at all. He says he doesn't really feel there's a difference. So the one thing is building momentum game to game can be a lot harder. When you're just playing in the league, wins and draws, you can kind of use those to propel your team forward. But when you're going from competition to competition, it doesn't mean the same thing. So this is a real new test for these coaches. Of course, Scott McKenzie, still very early on, but a guy like Mike Jeffries, who's seen just about everything during his time with Charlotte. An all-new test for the veteran. Here's Roberts. Over the top, searching for Belmar. Chested down. Overcooked slightly. Alvarez. Flicked along by Dimmick. The redirect. Just got the geometry wrong. Alvarez has been dynamite on the wing. And Dimmick, who is not known for his goal scoring, just about getting his angles right. Well, normally you would not back yourself to get a result at American Legion Memorial, just a place that's been very favorable to the home team recently, but this year it's a little bit different. They're just 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses here at home in the league so far this season. A -2 goal difference. This is in comparison to a year last year with 10 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses. They were incredible with a +16 goal differential. One of the things Mike Jeffries talked to us about. Trying to get maximum points here at home. Just haven't been consistent enough, he says. Laid off for Pilato. Belmar. Overlap of Dimmick. First time cross, deflected behind. First Chick-fil-A corner kick in the last few minutes. They were kind of piling them up. Set pieces have been a way in, crosses specifically. It was the cross from Alvarez that led to goal 1. And then Obregon from Sorensen's foot that led to goal 2. A lightning strike twice for Sorensen. Deep ball. Alvarez scuffed his shot. Paddles up. It's a crossover you didn't know you needed. Join us for Pickleball Night at American Legion Memorial Stadium Saturday, June 29th. Tickets are available at charlotteindependence.com. Charlotte Independence is powered by eTix. Lukic. Marsh holding off Pilato. Draws the foul. So Gustavo Fernandez and Omar Hernandez will be the double substitution for Chattanooga. That is now 4 substitutions for the visitors. Once again, still battling with the repercussions of all these injuries that have just piled up. So now we'll see Green come off for Fernandez. And then Hernandez will come in for Lukic. Substitutions brought to you by Atlas Chiropractic. Here's Roberts. Sliding challenge, wins nothing. Through the lines, just about got the layoff right. Well, FA. Follow. Waters. Taken off of the foot of Marsh, away by Hugh Roberts, excuse me, as we will have these triple substitution as they're flying in now. And this bench is stacked for Charlotte. This is the last thing you want to see. Goal of the year winner Omar Sis, Manchester United legend Gabriel Obertan, and Tresor Mbuyu, who is their worst nightmare. That man loves to score against Chattanooga. That triple substitution, deadly, and probably the last thing that Scott McKenzie wants to see right now. Talk about depth. Scooped in, deflected away in the first corner kick of the evening for Chattanooga. Set pieces have factored very little. They have the second fewest corner kicks in the league, so this is not an area that they excel with. Chick-fil-A corner kick will be taken by Hernandez. Takes a touch out front, away by Roberts. Strike from outside, parried away by Pack. Well, that was through a lot of traffic. Just settled by Sorensen and Hernandez. Pack had to do really well to get down there as quickly as he did. And replay brought to you by AccuVision LASIK. Chick-fil-A corner kick taken quickly out for a throw. Hernandez has been very active since coming on. Scoops one in, away by Spielman. Ruiz over Mbuyu. Cutting inside. Nobody there. Comes Mbuyu. Dimick. Obregon Jr. calling for it. He receives it. Tresor Mbuyu. Stinging cross. Obertan can't corral it. This game has really turned into a frenzy. It's getting very stretched. Referee blows for the foul against Sorensen. So here in the 70th minute, knotted it to 3 goals in the first half, 1 in the second. Austin Pack grabs with ease. USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Follow over the top, trying to build their way out. They lose it to Mbuyu. Oberton. Dimmick back for the Frenchman. The overhead kick attempted. Quite audacious. Sorensen now. From way outside, picks it up off the first bounce. I believe that's Ricky Ruiz down on the edge of the 18-yard box. Not what you want to see from a Chattanooga Red Wolves perspective. You're going to hope this is just fatigue. Injuries have been their worst nightmare. It's affected this roster top to bottom. And Ruiz, who's still very early on in his second stint with the team, hasn't gotten the output he's wanted offensively, but 35 crosses coming into this one, 33 fouls drawn. He's doing those intangibles. Coach saying, though, there's a lot more to come. He thought his best game was the one against Madison, and he thinks he's got a very high ceiling, and we just haven't seen the best yet of Ricky Ruiz. He received some attention. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Well, they were down 2 goals after the first 10 minutes, and you thought Chattanooga might be able to do what no team has done in this series and finally win on the road. Through 8 games played, none of these teams, either one, has won at the opposition's home ground. But then things just went wrong on either end of the halftime break. A goal just before, a goal just after. Makes it 2-2, and that might just be the end of Ricky Ruiz's night. And they only have one more substitution, I believe. They've used 4, 1 at the halftime break, so they should have another window. Nair Paez is a guy whose name just immediately comes to mind. Somebody who might be able to come on, a very young guy still in his career, and provide a little bit of verve to this attack that has gone a little dormant. It will not be Paez, though. It'll be Stefan Svetonovic, who will trot out here and be the final alteration. Darkness is falling on the Queen City here. Maybe a few more antics before the night is over. Alvarez, Oberton, taken off the foot of Alvarez. Down by Dimmick, pursued by Marsh. Should be last off Marsh, and is. Pilato out for Alvarez. Obregon Jr. does so well in tight spaces. Oberton away from Mbuyu. The 35-year-old Frenchman still kicking it. Pilato. Alvarez. The Charlotte Independence is proud to share their home field with Carolina Ascent FC, the new Division I women's professional soccer team starting play this August. For more information on this exciting new Super League and this team, visit CarolinaAscent.com. We are now entering the witching hour for Chattanooga. They have tied for the most goals allowed in the final 15 minutes of any team in the league. They've allowed 5 goals in the last quarter of an hour. Remember, going back to that Lexington game, they led 3-2 in the 91st minute, gave up 2 goals in stoppage time to lose that one. Obregon Jr. just can't settle it. This is the time that continually comes back to haunt them. I asked Coach McKenzie if it was a matter of those injuries and young players. He said, absolutely not. He said, the guys making these mistakes, and they are mistakes, they are shooting themselves in the foot, architects of their own downfall, the words he used. So they're from experienced players. The missed back pass by TJ Bush a game or so ago. So they're not really being broken down. That's the problem, is they're just giving teams opportunities to hurt them late on in games. And that's got to be their biggest focus right now. Make Charlotte win this game if they're going to. Don't just give it away. Hernandez. He's always had a fascinating discussion with Scott McKenzie. And he was born in Scotland but raised in England, and I asked who he's going to be cheering for in the Euros. It's got to be a tough decision, right? He said he's cheering for neither of them. Was not too concerned about that Scotland loss to Germany today. He said, you know, he's a big Rangers fan, and he has not been too happy with the way the Scottish Football Association has treated Rangers, so he's not supporting Scotland. But as Roberts whips one in, away by Spielman. He said also growing up Scottish in England, got a lot of stick. He said he can't cheer for England either. So he's going into this one with no pledged horse in the race. Ooh, Roberts pulling up there. You can see him immediately going to that calf, and once again, so frustrating. Roberts is down, holding his right calf. A man who has been in sublime form since joining. 7 starts, he's played 90 minutes on 6 separate occasions. This is the man who scored the game-winning goal in the League One final back in 2022. Scored 3 goals in the NCAA tournament. He's a part of that Marshall team that went on that incredible run. What's interesting now is I'm just not sure they have another substitution. They've made the one at halftime with Walefe, and then they have used 3 substitution windows in 5 subs total. So if Roberts is unable to continue, I believe they will be unable to replace him.
Also entering for Charlotte, number 15, Noah Palato, replaced by number 10, Miguel Ibarra.
Walefe over the top, searching for Malongo, who's still sitting on a brace. Could possibly get a hat trick. Foul given. Here's Spielman. Guy who's just come up with a lot of surprises. He's 4 for 4 in penalty shootouts this season. They've gone to 4. He's taken 1 and scored 1 in every single attempt. The only player to score in all 4. That's what's so funny is Obregon Jr. would be your man to think he would be the one to have scored. He has scored in none of the penalty shootouts. He was subbed off in 1 but missed in the others. Nick Spielman, though. I asked Coach Mike Jeffries when they found out he could take penalties, is this is going to stay in play. Shifting on to his right, away by Pack, and the parry is just enough. The offside flag will blow the play dead. But Cvitanovic almost able to evade Pack. So they do have that substitution. Paez will replace Roberts. Very fortunate for the Red Wolves.
Now let's know a Friday substitution in the 81st minute for Chattanooga. Number 3, Jamil Roberts, replaced by number 7, Mayor Paez.
Charlotte also made some substitutions, bringing on Fabrice Nga and the longtime MLS man Miguel Ibarra. Imbuyo. Dimmick for Oberton. The linesman on this near side, Marcus Moss, does spot the deflection. Oberton just over the head of Obregon Jr. and safely into the hands of Bush. It's your experience on your schedule. Charlotte Independence 2024 mini plans are available for purchase, keeping Charlotte Independence soccer accessible and affordable. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. One back by Nga, Oberton. Flag stays down. The French talisman lays it off, and it's turned in by Alvarez. Deservedly so, for a man who has been fantastic on the night. Luis Alvarez. Oberton so selfless, hunting for Obregon Jr. and then ghosting in is Alvarez. You can see him take a little peek, and Alvarez makes no mistake, rifling it into the top corner. Luis Alvarez and the Charlotte Independents, from 2 goals down, have completed the turnaround. Incredible stuff. It was a shambolic opening 10 minutes from the home team. But they have been determined from the moment that second goal went in. Something clicked, something switched, and this team has looked totally different. You could see Ruiz there just signaling for the substitution. His legs are gassed. He has given it his all and then some. Once again, another goal given up in the final 15 minutes for Chattanooga. And they are staring down another game slipping through their fingers. They've really executed everything here. They've applied that pressure. They've got control of the game. Created their own luck here. Relied on none. Here's Marsh. First time in this game they trail. 20 seconds into this game, Chattanooga ever since have held the lead. Finally tied back up the beginning of the second half, and now they trail. Alvarez, soon to be subbed off. Overton, Obara, free-flowing football. Now possession can see this one out. They can just hold on. Would not be the first time Luis Alvarez has scored a game-winning goal late on. A 96th minute winner against Spokane. Overton flips it to Obregon Jr. on his right. Seals this one for Charlotte. From 2 goals down to 2 goals up. The Independents have flipped the script. And Overton is at the center of it again. He tried to pick out Overton for the 3rd goal. This time he makes no mistake. Deftly lobbed, deftly settled, and struck pure and clean. Nestling it home and surely putting this one beyond doubt.
That was a chiropractic substitution in the 87th minute. Number 14, Luis Alvarez.
Incredible by Obregon Jr., who gets yet another brace. His 3rd brace of the season, still yet to get a hat trick. He had the game winner in that game against Richmond we showed you at the top of the show. That is now double digits in the league for Obregon Jr., 12 on the season. The wheels have come off the wagon for the Red Wolves.
Scored by number 29, J.C. Obregon Jr. He's assisted by number 56,
Marsh.
The goal scored in the 87th minute. 29, Obregon from 56, Obregon.
Cvitanovic.
87th minute.
2 minutes just about plus stoppage time, of which you can expect a decent amount. If they can score here before the 90th minute, there might be something left. Cvitanovic. Did that take a touch on its way through? No, says Jair Campos. Aquafina is the official water of the Charlotte Independent. When the game heats up, cool down with Aquafina. This game has been boiling all second half long. Got that temperature set right at the end of the first half. They have not looked back. I mean, you talk about the depth of this team, being able to go to the bench and bring on a veteran, the likes of Gabriel Overton. He's played something like near 450 games in his career across 9 different clubs. Over 100 goals and assists combined. Some of the biggest names in Europe. To be able to bring him on, picks up 2 assists. The game winner and what will likely be the game sealer. Once again, the second half proving to be the fruitful ground upon which they've been able to reap real rewards. Charlotte makes now 10 goals in the second half. Mbuyu. Hearing rumors of 6 minutes of stoppage time. That would be enough for Chattanooga to mount something. They've got to get this first goal quickly. It seems out of reach. There were stages in that first half where it looked like Chattanooga might waltz their way to this one. Foul given. There is confirmation of your Novant Health stoppage time. 6 minutes.
The court official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time. 6 minutes of stoppage time at a minimum, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Marsh calling for it. He'll receive it. Pressured by Oberton. Marsh. Muscled off. Beautifully done by Nga. Mbuyu escapes. Pulled back, and that'll be an easy yellow card. Leopoldo Hernandez. A yellow card brought to you by 11 Lakes. So this would see Charlotte move up to 14 points, slide above Tormenta and Knoxville into fourth, and they would end the night 5 points above the playoff line. What makes it even harder for Chattanooga is sitting down with 7 points. You're looking at probably at the end of this week at a minimum 4 points to a playoff spot. We're still very early on in the season, the way the new structure is gone. Svetanovic away by Roberts. You can see Scott McKenzie there. Never erring. Still trying to propel his side on. Should last be off. Mbuyu and is. McKenzie's trying to send everybody in. Ibarra with the awkward deflection. Obregon Jr., 3-on-4. Oberton looking for a hat trick of assists. Sis now winds one up. Stings the glove of TJ Bush. That is a man familiar with a missile. He scored one on the other end of the field back in 2022. That was the goal of the year in League One. And now a Chick-fil-A corner kick for Tresor Mbuyu. Kept in play. A high wire act along the near touch line. Can they keep it in play? Out for just a throw. That light really starting to dim now for Chattanooga. 2.5 to go in stoppage time. They have allowed 4 or more goals 4 times coming into this. Now the 5th time they have allowed 4 goals in a game. 5-2 against Omaha, 4-0 against Tormenta. Mbuyu straight to Bush. Of course, the one that we mentioned earlier, 4-3 against Lexington. Will be twice now. They drop points. So it'll take them to 5 points dropped from winning positions if this holds. And that would make now 6 points gained from losing positions for Charlotte. Just about everybody forward. This is probably it. If they can't score here, it probably won't happen. Flicked along by Waters. Did he get a deflection? Yes, says the referee. Maybe they can conjure something if they can get a goal here. Driven in. Headed up and over to safety. 60 seconds. That's all that remains in what has been a Friday night classic. Two goals in the opening 10 minutes for Chattanooga. You thought tonight might be their night and they might break the curse and finally be the first team in this series to win on the road. But history looks as though it will repeat itself once more. 9 games played, the home team has won every one. Overton on his right tried to pick out that bottom corner. Hernandez, we've had the 6 minutes. There might be another 30 seconds. But at this point, all but a foregone conclusion. Foul given. And there is the final whistle. The turnaround completed. After being 2 goals down in the opening 10 minutes, the Charlotte Independents complete the impossible. The comeback. Obregon Jr. and the Charlotte Independents take it 4-2.
Tonight's save of the match was presented by Social Pen Hotel and Daycare.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Are you ready? Ready for more games you love? Ready for more players, new rivals? Ready for more fans, new friends, and endless celebrations? This is Carolina's new women's pro soccer team, the Carolina Ascent, featuring the world's most exciting players connected to the global game, uniting the Carolinas. We are the Carolina Ascent, built for the Carolinas.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive,
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m.
with a wonderful dog who turned out to rescue him from some not-so-lovable raccoons in his backyard. Coming up next as well.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Well, the fans here at American Legion Memorial won't soon forget this one. 4 unanswered goals to come from behind for the Charlotte Independents as we wrap things up here and bring to you your full-time highlights. Alvarez was incredible, and he was at the center of it all. This is how it unfolded. Brought to you by Novant Health. This was 20 seconds in. This feels like an entirely different world. It was Malongo, and the awkward back pass. He just taps it in at the last to make it 1-0. And this was just the beginning for Malongo. An incredible game from him, an incredible first half, the layoff from Lukic, and they were flying at this point. 2-0 up, and they were still dangerous, and you thought this is their moment. Big win against the Charlotte team who went to the final last year, a very stacked opponent, but it was not to be. First half was that first red flag that went up. Alvarez to Belmar, 5-hole on Bush, and it was 2-1 going into halftime. That was the moment that the doubt started to creep in, and you said, I think that it might be possible for a comeback, but still, you wouldn't think 4 unanswered goals. We've still only seen 3. Here it is in the second half. It did not take long at all. Just about 10 minutes in, flipped up, top corner. Obregon Jr. with an incredible deflection. The class here. Sorensen driving it in and just nestling it into that top corner. An incredible finish by him. They still weren't done though. 4 unanswered goals. Overton comes into the game, tries to pick out Obregon Jr., and then into the top corner goes Alvarez, a much-deserved goal. He was so class tonight. The experience shown by Overton, and he is not done either. The fourth and final goal for Charlotte will come off of his boot. Full credit to Alvarez. A great finish for him. What is likely, or what did go down as the game winner. So here's the final play for you. Overton once again. Who else? Obregon Jr., the nestle, the touch, the finish, and that wraps up the win for Charlotte. An incredible nestle, and never doubt him. Here are your full-time stats brought to you by Novant Health. Possession still fairly even overall. Shots, look how one-sided it is. It's that period in the first half where they were down 2 goals. They were pressing the whole time, giving it anything and everything to get it across the line. A true complete performance from the Independents. Chattanooga picking up a couple of corners. They were able to get just 4 shots on target, which will be a disappointment to them in the end. This is a tough one to pick out your man of the match, but with 2 goals, Obregon Jr. is your Aquafina man of the match. He was just able to turn this game on a different level, providing the tying goal and then the sealing goal. Another brace that is now 3 on the season for him. He is leaving his best life in the Queen City. Well, it wasn't just one on one end, it was on the other as well. Here is your save of the game, brought to you by Social Pet. TJ Bush denied what could have been a hat trick for Obregon Jr. in the first half. That was the moment where you thought maybe this is the performance for them, and in the end, just was not enough for Obregon Jr. Full credit to TJ Bush. Here's your Novant Health play of the match. This is a goal you're going to be seeing for a long time. Goal of the week nominee, no doubt. Look at the flick. The geometry to perfection. He's got his angles just right. And the double by Obregon Jr. is your play of the match. Well, I've got some good news for you folks. This is just the beginning. Friday on what promises to be another excellent week in another excellent league. Such a fun time presenting it to you. An incredible come-from-behind victory. 4 unanswered goals from Charlotte to win it at home over Chattanooga. Start to finish, another classic under the lights on a Friday night. For myself, Zach Burley, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.